Well, hello, everyone. Beautiful souls. Welcome back to the Language of Beauty show. I am super excited to see you again here and tuning in on all these beautiful things that we're sharing in this show. Today, I have a beautiful woman who is absolutely powerful. It's all about leadership and feeling illuminated, feeling that you want to show off and you want to go there, be the center of the stage and show who you are, who you truly are. Sometimes we are actually afraid of this and thinking that we are taking too much space or that we are not enough to be out there and telling the entire world of who we are and what we're capable of. So I am very pleased to give a cordial and warm welcome to Abigail Rebecca, who is here today to share with all of us what self-love is about and showing off actually, and going out in the world and saying how amazing and how powerful we are. Welcome, Abigail. It is such a pleasure to have you here on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. And I love it. When you say showing off, you're like, showing off. And I'm like, yes, you're embodying it. I love it.
Yes, that's what it's supposed to be, not like showing off, but showing off. And you're going to tell us and teach us a lot about it. So let me tell the ladies who you are and what you're up to in the world, which is pretty amazing. So she is the founder and chief goddess at abigailrebecca.com. She is an international speaker and the creator of Illuminated Leaders. She believes the world needs more empowered, fully expressed, wealthy women. Through her work, she empowers female entrepreneurs to be bold, courageous, and highly visible to get into their flow and create extraordinary success. She helps women step into full, radiant, feminine leadership power to amplify the bigger vision, put themselves on the center stage, and embrace their inner show-off. She shares her method and framework with thousands of female leaders who have gone through feeling burnt out and working too hard to having a clear and simple plan of action to create lifelong freedom, bliss, success, and financial abundance. Isn't that like amazing? Isn't that so wonderful? So Abigail, let's talk about self-love and success and feeling abundant and tying that to loving ourselves and stepping up.
Yeah, I think it's a wonderful thing when you can guide a woman through a process and at the other end she absolutely unconditionally loves herself. And I think everything that your wonderful online event is all about, like the beauty and the radiance and the like feeling good in your own skin and the beautiful way that we can dress and express ourselves and speak up and become the real powerful illuminated women in the world that we're meant to be. All of this stems in self-love. When I first started off my journey, I left corporate about 4 years ago and I started off as a personal stylist. And one of the things that just really didn't connect with me when I was doing that, however wonderful the work was, I felt that I could put a woman in a beautiful dress, but if she didn't feel beautiful, then she just wouldn't feel beautiful. Putting her in a beautiful dress didn't make her feel beautiful. And I just thought, oh my goodness, like how am I going to be able to really transform a woman? Of course, I love to wear beautiful things. I love to look in the mirror and feel good about myself. I love style. I adore all of that. But really, it's kind of like peeling back the layers and really having very honest conversations with yourself and confronting yourself in a big way. I was brought up really not with a lot of self-love for myself. I'm not going to go through the whole story, but my upbringing was it was very disempowering. And I've really gone through life like almost like a little bit like not a pretense, but just like I'm putting on an act really and truly putting on an act. And it's not until I really started this whole project with myself, first of all, around my own visibility. Like, how am I showing up in this world? What am I creating for myself? But most importantly, what am I giving back? What am I creating for others? And I realized that in a big way, the way that I thought about myself, the way that I loved myself, or actually didn't love myself, was preventing me from being highly visible. So I work with female entrepreneurs. I run amazing global retreats. And I really show them how to be highly visible, because if you're going to play a big game, you need to be really showing up. So if they want to sort of, position themselves as an expert, or do a TED talk, or write a book, or whatever it might be, just pick up the phone and speak to somebody. It's about being highly visible. But what often holds us back is just this fear and this worry and this really dissatisfaction with ourselves. What we look like, who we are, what we're capable of. So I really, really love to work with women around that. And, everything that I do is also based in law of attraction. And, everything that we want in life vibrates on the frequency of love. So we really need to be doing that in order to manifest all the wonderful things that are our birthright.
Yes, absolutely. Now, that self-love, like you said, it's not like we are born with it, or perhaps it's built over time, and because of all the things that we have experienced, perhaps in childhood. Some childhoods have been more painful than others, so it becomes like I would say it adds layers to yourself, and then when you become an adult, like out of a sudden you find yourself lacking self-worth, and lacking that confidence, and lacking everything that, as you describe, is so needed to be successful in your career, in your relationships, in your business, or whatever it is that you're up to. So how is it that we can, if we stop for a minute and we say, okay, I got to love myself. So one thing is to say it, and another thing is to really look at yourself in the mirror and say, yes, I love myself deeply. And then that showing it in the way, like what you were saying in the beginning, like how you can start embodying that love and that confidence.
Yeah, and you're so right, Paola. I mean, it's what we say, it's easy to say it. Sometimes I'll ask a woman what she loves most about herself, and she can't even say it.
Yeah.
She can't even express it. But words are good and very powerful, but actually it's about embodying it, and it's about really living life powerfully and fully expressing and showing off that deep love about yourself. And you're right, it's always something that happened in childhood. I think, as women, we are really conditioned, consciously and unconsciously, from a very young age, not to be too much, not to take up too much space, to be good little girls, to be quiet, not to show off. I mean, I don't know about your childhood, but I used to be told all the time not to show off. And I see mothers do it to this day. They'll say to their little girls, don't be a show off, stop showing off. And even like, when we were talking before, like when I said to you, you were talking about like showing off, and you were like rolling your shoulders. I mean, it was so sexy and expressive, like showing off. Like that is just so powerful, really powerful. And then we were like, instead of like, showing off like this, and I see it a lot with really, really amazing women who are very, very successful. So like they've built success because they're very intelligent, they've got good business acumen, so they know how to build a business. But then they like reach a plateau, they're not getting to that next level of success, and they're just not, they're not loving themselves. I see it a lot. They don't take up a lot of space. Or one of the things that I always talk about is being hiding in plain sight. So they might be like go and be on a stage, but they'll only be in a panel on a stage. They won't actually be a keynote speaker. Or they might do Facebook Lives, but they'd never go onto a TV show and be interviewed. Just like being visible, but doing it within our comfort zones. I'm all about being visible and taking ourselves out of our comfort zones. But you know, we can often like just be really, really small. And I was on the tube the other day in London, and there was a man next to me, and he was like man spreading. So you know, the legs were really wide, and he was taking up all the space. And there was a woman next to him, and she was like this. And I thought, oh my goodness, like that just shows the conditioning. There's no right or wrong, but it just shows the conditioning. As women, we still carry that as adults. So yes, how are we going to address that? How are we going to be like, actually, I'm good enough and beautiful enough and clever enough and worth enough to take up space and to fully express ourselves. And when it comes to self-love, clearly we're not just talking about self-care. Self-care is part of self-love. So doing our hair, doing our nails, you know, wearing statement necklaces, feeling beautiful, having a bubble bath, going for a spa day, they're all things that make us feel really good, and I actively encourage it all of the way. But self-love is really about the relationship that you have with yourself and the respect that you have with yourself. So, you know, setting boundaries, learning how to say no confidently and apologetically, not putting yourself first. You know, this is the not putting yourself first. Let me say that again. Putting yourself first. As women, we're often mothers, we're often wives or partners, you know, like we're very good at putting other people before us, and then we think it's really selfish, you know, if we put ourselves first. So setting all these boundaries, and also really like, another couple of things that I feel really help when I work with my clients around self-love. Wealth creation, so important. Wealth creation is so empowering. Every single woman, this is my mission, every single woman on this earth to be wealthy, because then you are truly in your power. You love yourself. You truly love yourself in order to attract that wealth, and then that wealth really gives you the confidence and the stability so that you're not reliant on anybody else. The only person that you're reliant on for your own happiness and love is yourself. And then also, one thing that I've really worked on myself, and you know, we work with a lot of our clients on this as well on our retreats, is really healing the past. So, you know, forgiveness and really disconnecting yourself from all the stories and all the emotional responses for things that have happened in the past, healing those, forgiving that, whatever you need to do, cutting your ties with the past so that your energy can be focused on you and only you, and then you fill your cup up, and then you can go out and you can make a huge impact in this world, and then teach others how to do the same thing.
Yes, that is so beautiful. So beautiful, you know, leading by example and showing others what's possible, and really truly embodying the gifts that you have and the beauty that was given to you and the beauty that you were born with. Because oftentimes we fall into this competition and this, I'm not going to take too much space, but then I criticize the other one who's being too much, or who's using her gifts, or showing up and saying, well, I'm good at this, I'm intelligent, I'm smart, I'm all of these things. So it's very, very interesting how women interact with other women in different cultures and everything, you know, just hiding and not being too much, but also wanting to be the one that's standing up and saying, hey, I am Wonder Woman and I've done all of these things. So how would you, like, what would be the words of encouragement that you would give to women, especially in this era of social media and seeing so many women standing up in their power? So what would be those words for the ones who are still hiding behind closed doors, or hiding, not wanting to do a Facebook Live, or just not wanting to be out of that comfort zone, or being so afraid of taking that step?
Yeah, I love that you've raised that, Paola. When you were leading up to that question, you were talking about like competition, like women being in competition with each other. And yeah, I think that that's one of the things that can often make some women fearful and hold back about fully expressing themselves because they're worried about being judged by other women. So if I use an example of an amazing client of mine, actually, that was on the last retreat. She's a very, very successful 7-figure business owner in the States, and she wants to create growth within her business, but she's self-sabotaging. She's doing different things. She's realized what she's doing now. It's stopping her from growing. But actually, what the deep transformational work that we did on that retreat, what it allowed her to experience and to really discover about herself, is this real fear of people leaving her when she becomes too successful. So she's got this fear of being wealthy but very lonely. And what's happened is every time in her life she's become more successful and people have left her. So she's left, friends have left her, partners have left her. And you know, we know that we're all on this journey into, you know, whatever you want to call it, awakeness, consciousness, enlightenment, like personal development journey, whatever it is, journey to joy. But when we do up level, it, you know, the vibrational things that we attract, it's a different level. Of course it is. But you know, there's this real fear, like, I don't want to be judged as a show off, and there's also this wonderful game of comparison. So to come back to your points there about social media, and social media is a wonderful thing, isn't it? But it's also can be a very harmful and damaging thing. And I remember when I first started off on my entrepreneurial journey, I was really, really good at comparing myself to other women. So I think we've done the same program, where you know, we go and we create wonderful online learning platforms like this and go out and interview speakers. And I remember when I first started working on that program, and I went into this amazing Facebook community with, you know, women who were already on their entrepreneurial journey and women that were just starting. I was one of the women that was just starting. I was constantly comparing myself to the women who had been an entrepreneur for like 5-10 years, because they were the ones that were being really successful. They were the ones that were like getting loads of followers and getting the best speakers and like really like coming into their power. And I was like, oh, okay, like, I'm really not doing this. I'm so rubbish.
I don't know where I'm going.
I'm rubbish at this. What am I doing wrong? And I was allowing myself to compare myself to other women. And I realized that I'd done that throughout my life. So if there's anybody that is watching that can relate to that, one of the things that I would say to you is stop comparing yourself. Stop comparing yourself to other people. Like, you are your own person. You're on your own journey, your own path. Things will unfold for you as they are meant to be. And instead of going and comparing yourself to women and potentially being a little bit triggered by them, and dare I say a bit jealous of them, like, just start to really look at the qualities that they're displaying and the things that they're doing to inspire you, and reach out to them and get to know them. There's something that is really so powerful when women come together in a circle without any competition, you know, without any mean girls, and they come together and they're deeply vulnerable and they share. There's something really, really magical about that, and that's one of the things that I'm passionate about. That's why I built Illuminated Leaders. So Illuminated Leaders is a community of really amazing women, for them to come together and collaborate and work together and build deep friendships, and really inspire each other. And you know, they're from different areas of the globe and different communities and in different industries and different parts of their journey, but what they all have in common is they have a really amazing business head, they have a prosperity consciousness, and they have a goddess energy. And it's so beautiful to see women working together. So instead of actually trying to compete with another woman, like, just like embrace her, love her, and get closely connected to her. We lone wolves cannot do this. We cannot do this on our own. So build a community of people around you. You know, look for Paola, like, freaking follow her, like read her emails and watch her Facebook lives and connect with the other speakers on this summit. You know, there's a reason that we're all coming together. As you're watching this is no coincidence. We are all coming together in this day at this time for a reason. So see that and believe that, and take notice of the signs, and really think about, okay, how can I get closely connected to Paola? You know, how can I get to know Abby a little bit more? How can I get to know all the amazing speakers? And how can I build a community? Because it really is about, once you actually start to love yourself, that love, like your heart just bursts open, and then that love just like vibrates. It's like, do you remember the Care Bears?
Yes.
Like, you know, like the love,
just like that.
The light, the rainbow light comes out, and it just goes out into all the world, and it's beautiful. And love is the opposite of fear. And once you stop to love, you stop fearing, and that's what's happening. If you're comparing yourself to people and you're thinking, I'm not good enough, and you know, what on earth am I going to do? Who am I to be an expert? Who am I to speak on stage? Who am I to, you know, run an online program and teach people to be ... That's fear. Like, fill yourself with love, start with yourself, and then that will go out, and it dilutes the fear. It's so powerful.
Yes, absolutely. And I can see it. You know, you can truly tell the difference between those who are like way high up, like they have already, let's say they have already reached the top, or I know there's constant growth and evolution, but when you're like down here, you're like, wow, she's so amazing, or I admire her. And when you reach that top, you can really tell the difference between the ones that are helping others, the ones that are giving back, the ones that remember the path and look back and say, hey, let me help you because I've been there, and let's all come together, and so that we can all learn from one another. So you can really see the difference in the vibration and how everything comes together, like in perfect timing. I can totally relate to that. Now, there is something that really stood out for me, and it's wealth, because sometimes we are so afraid even of the word like wealth. We connect that to like, oh no, I don't know if I could be wealthy, or perhaps we have this money story from our family or whatever it is that has like a negative context, instead of be wealthy so that I can help others, or be wealthy because it helps build my confidence and it helps me bring my gifts forth to the world and make a difference and impact. So let's talk about wealth and wealthy women. What's wealth exactly?
Well, I always talk about wealth as opposed to money, because wealth really, you know, it encompasses a lot of things. It's not just physical money. It's abundance of everything in your life. You know, it's like happiness, and it's joy, and it's healthiness. And the money is just a part of that. I mean, I used to have a real problem with money, and I didn't actually realize it until I became an entrepreneur. All through my life, I've never ever struggled with money. I've always had it, but there's always been like a worry that like a scarcity mindset, like I've got the money and then it's going to disappear and it's not going to come back again. And that was like amplified when I started my business. And you know, if we've got any entrepreneurs that are watching this, like your business basically is your personal development. I remember when I did my first summit and somebody said that to me, I was like, say what? Okay. And now, like, yes, I know exactly what you were talking about. So whatever is going on in here is just amplified and it reflects within your business. So it's something that I still work on, actually, and I think with anything on this wonderful personal development journey, you never reach the top of the mountain. You don't. Like, there's always something to work on, but with money, I had developed, unconsciously I developed a very bad relationship with money. And of course it came from my parents, of course it did. So my parents weren't extremely rich, but they weren't extremely poor. They were okay, they were good, they had quite a lot of money, but they would just never give it away. Like, they'd never go on holidays, they'd never buy a new car. It was like, hold on to the money, because it's not gonna come back. So that's the mindset that I developed. And I think, you know, if you want to look at money as energy, it then kind of dilutes that whole issue, if you've got an issue around money, that whole bad relationship around money. So, you know, money is love, money is energy, money is supposed to flow out of us and flow back, and we're the ones that create these stories about money. Money isn't bad, money isn't evil, money isn't wonderful. You know, money's just money. It's just something that we give to each other in exchange for something wonderful. And also, money creates opportunities, and being wealthy and creating success and creating wealth from a place of joy and love, as opposed to creating wealth and success from a place of fear, what that does is it creates amazing opportunities in our lives. And, you know, I know you do this as well, Paola. You stand for women's empowerment. Yeah, we really stand for this. Like, we're standing for every single woman that is watching this. And really, really, to be fully empowered means to be wealthy, because the money does give you power. And if you think about money and power, you just think of old patriarchal, hierarchical, old paradigm structures. You know, you think of the middle class white man in a suit, you know, holding the purse strings, in the power, you know, everything that has come from that. And I'm not talking about that at all, because that is old paradigm, and the old paradigm is dying, and we are now working in the new paradigm, and we are creating a new way to work together. This is why women are rising. This is why our superpowers are incredible, because we're really good at collaborating and communicating and creating. Like, women are so good at creating. Now, I want to create so many things in my life, Paola, so many things, and I need wealth to do that. So I need a supportive community around me. I need a really positive mindset. I need to get myself out of my own way. I need to do all the work on myself to do that. But I also need wealth. I need money, because how else am I going to create things? How else am I going to be able to go out and help people? You know, how am I going to be able to create communities and opportunities? So money gives us the opportunities to be able to change the world in a really feminine, wonderful, loving, powerful way. And it also brings amazing experiences into our lives. I mean, how happy does it feel when you can get on a plane and fly to a beautiful destination and lie on a beach? I know you love to travel. I love to travel as well.
I love to travel.
Exactly. So, I mean, that makes us happy, right? Isn't that wonderful? Like, I've got a laptop, I take it with me, I travel. I'm going away next week. I'm going to be spending a week on a beautiful beach. I'm going to be working, mostly playing, but I am going to be working. So it just creates these amazing opportunities for us. And, you know, we live in an abundant world. There's enough wealth, believe it or not, to go around. So I don't believe this only a certain percentage of people should have all the wealth. Everybody should have the wealth, but not everybody feels that they deserve the wealth. And that's where it comes back to self-love.
Yes.
Because once you truly love and respect yourself, you realize that actually it is our birthright, and you do deserve to be wealthy, and you do deserve to have this wonderful lifestyle. But if you don't love yourself, well, what's the opposite of love? It's fear.
Yes.
So you're just going to be scared, and you're going to think all the money's going to disappear, or I'm not good enough to have the money, or I'm just going to keep it to myself and not share it with anybody else. You know, so it's about really being abundant and generous and loving yourself, and just getting to that wonderful mindset of wealth creation.
Yes, that is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And such an eye-opener for all of us to think of wealth that is not only money, but it's also our health. And health comes from taking care of ourselves, eating well. So like you said, going back to loving ourselves and truly believing, oh yes, I do deserve to have the wealth, to have the health, to have the relationships, to have the money, or whatever it is. So going after it and truly calling it into our lives. Because you also said something about the vibration and attracting what's truly aligned with who you are and what you're up to in the world. And not, as I was reading about you, there's something that said we don't have to go after and chase things around, but things come to us if we're aligned to that thing of who we are and why we were born, like our purpose. Yeah. Mainly. So that is so beautiful that we have this power and feminine power of having everything. Like there's no limit.
We're so powerful, you know, as women, we're so powerful, and we carry, if you think about like over like the last couple of thousand years, you know, what women have been through, the suppression and, you know, the shaming, and the less like the culture around being subservient, you know, in all across the whole of the world. We carry that with us. We carry those wounds from the past. This now is about healing. It's about healing and about thinking about ourselves and the way that we feel and the way that we look and the way that we love ourselves in a different way, and absolutely embracing our powers, because there was a reason why we were suppressed. There is a reason, and that's because we are powerful. We're creators. We create life. We cook a baby, and you know, like, come on. Yeah. We are the goddesses. We are the goddesses, and I'm telling you now, 2020, it's all about the rise of the female, and the men are going to be there pushing the goddesses forward. This is what's happening now. Everything that we see happening around us, and it's so exciting. And I'm so happy to be part of this movement. And you know what you're doing, Paola, I just love it, because it's all part of this. It's like, let's bring it out into the open and let's discuss it.
Thank you for that. And I have to say very vulnerably that I was thinking about this for so long. But I was stuck in that thing of, who am I to go out there and gather all these experts to talk about confidence if I'm lacking confidence? Like, who am I? Who's going to listen to me, basically? So I took the bold step and I said, let's do it, because it's for something. It's not about me. It's about all the women that get to really take advantage of this and find their gifts and find their power and use it to create amazing things. Because I'm sure that all of you who are watching have great ideas and have great gifts and many things to offer to the world, and you haven't done so because you feel you're too much, or because you're just worried about looking good, myself included. Like, I can speak from experience because I've been there. Like, I've felt that way. Like, I don't want anybody to see me because then I'm going to be seen like it's too much, or who is she? She's not an expert, or whatever story you have in your head. So thank you for that, Abby, because yes, this is all about women empowerment and stepping into that power and doing amazing things for the world.
Yeah, no, I get it. I've struggled, you know, with I've really struggled with body image all through my life, and it's something that I allowed to stop me from being visible, you know, because I was just really conscious of it, like speaking on stage or being videoed or being photographed. But actually, once you deal with that and you transform and you step out of your own way, then that just allows so much, you know, you are actually then going out and helping others. And if you are just in your head all of the time, you're just thinking about yourself, and then you're just not, you know, you so many people are going to be impacted. Because, so can you imagine, like, if you'd have been like, actually, no, I'm not good enough to do it. Delete, I'll just leave that group. You know what? I'll just leave this program. like all these women, and I know what speakers you've got, and I've interviewed some of them before. Like, they're incredible. You've just created this wonderful container, and all these wonderful women that are going to be, you know, coming and watching these interviews. I mean, like you would have prevented all of that just because she would have thought you weren't good enough. You know, when you look at it in that context, it's like, come on, we need to be a stand for other women. Let's, like, you know, once one woman rises, we all rise.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with you on that one. And that, what you were saying, that I would say that's being selfish. You know, sometimes we feel that, oh, loving myself or taking care of myself is being selfish, but actually, selfish is not showing up.
Yeah.
Selfish is not going like out there and saying, this is it, I'm taking a stand for XYZ, whatever it is that you're taking a stand for. So that is absolutely beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. Thank you for that, Abby. Now I have a question for you. What does the language of beauty mean to you?
The language of beauty. I think it really links into what I've been talking about, like deep respect and self-love for yourself. I feel really beautiful when I feel confident. Like, have you ever like got, you know, like you go through the motions, right? So when we get ready, if we're going out, you go through, you do your hair, you put makeup on, you pick a dress, like put the heels on, whatever it might be. You look in the mirror and like literally like you have transformed, physically you've transformed through that whole beautiful process. But you look in the mirror and you're like, you just don't like what you see. Like you just don't feel, you might look at somebody in the mirror that's got makeup on and hair done, but actually you just don't want to go out. I feel beautiful when I, like, all of that external stuff is in the inside. So if I can like flip myself inside out and have all of that on the inside, it doesn't matter how I look externally. So, you know, today I had my hair done yesterday. It doesn't normally look like this. It's normally a lot curlier, but it's very kind of like, you know, blown out. And I've got makeup on and, you know, I want to look nice. I'm on your summit. Of course I want to look nice. So, you know, there might be days when I look like this. There might be, we've got a beautiful, like really old fashioned, like 1973 VW camper van, and we'll go away and I'll have no makeup on and my hair scraped back and ripped jeans and, you know, like sneakers. But if I'm feeling like filled up and love on the inside, I feel beautiful. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't actually matter what I look like on the outside, what state I'm in. I feel beautiful on the inside. And it's the same as when I've got no clothes on. You know, it's not clothes that make you. It's how you're feeling inside. So for me, the language of beauty is just self-love, self-acceptance, and just feeling pure joy. I think when I'm happy and I feel aligned to what I'm doing, so everything's in its flow, like the energy's flowing out, the energy's coming back, whether that be love, relationships, money, experiences, my business, my clients, whatever it might be, it's all in flow. Like, that's when I'm feeling beautiful. So for me, that's what beauty means to me.
Yeah. So beautiful, so beautiful. Yes, that inner beauty, that what we're feeling and turning ourselves inside out. I absolutely love that. Love that. Think about that, ladies. If you're looking at yourself in the mirror, are you looking at how you look outside, or look at yourself in the eyes? Like, that is so powerful. Who are you and how are you feeling right at that moment? Yeah. Abby, it has been such an amazing experience talking to you and listening to all your wisdom about self-love and confidence and stepping into your power and showing off who you are. Thank you so much for that. And I know that you have a gift for the ladies who are watching us. You want to tell us what it is?
I do, yeah. It's the 5 steps to become highly visible and to create extraordinary success. And I think, you know, whenever anybody comes to work with me, whether it's one-on-one coaching with me or they're doing a VIP day or they're coming to one of my retreats, is one of the things, it's the 5 things that I always take them through. So you can just download it, work through it, have fun, have so much fun with it. And you know, one of the themes that really comes out from it is connection and community. So important. I know that that's what you're building at the moment, and just by watching this you are part of a wider community, so I just really want to give you the opportunity to be able to tap into that.
Yes, thank you for that. Thank you so much for that. Ladies, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for following through the Language of Beauty show. It has been an amazing experience thus far. And so thank you, Abby, again, for your time and for all the wisdom that you shared with us today. And I look forward to future opportunities to reconnect. And we are in the same part of the same movement. And I'm sure that there will be many, many, many opportunities to go out and stand for what we're standing for. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Paola. Thank you.
So I will see you on the next one, ladies. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you for watching. For more videos designed to help you with your confidence and visibility, then subscribe to my channel and download your Illuminate from Within ebook. The link is in the video description.